Hello, I'm Lucy. I'm 7 months into building a handmade business where I sew accessories for pets and people. I thought I'd talk about some goals, some plans for 2025, and just a little chit chat. 2025 is a little scary. I've taken a year of leave from a regular teaching role, which I'm happy about. I was ready for a change either way. So this will be a year of giving it a really good go, see the whole year through, and I'm not expecting to have a livable income by the end of the year, but if I can break even from using all the profits to pay for sort of new ideas or new ventures and just break even at the end, that would be really awesome. I did do some maths, I did some calculations before I felt reassured taking this big sort of change with markets, modest amount each weekend, and if I still only get 1 or 2 students for sewing workshops throughout the year, then I think I'll definitely be able to pay off just paying my rent and bills. So that's pretty good. My ultimate goal, so 3-5 years time, I'd love to, because I've been sort of watching videos of other sort of handmade business sort of people, so people like Monica's Collective or Made by Taylor Rose, she's in Geelong I think. People like that, they're sort of my inspiration or kind of like benchmark for when it's more established. So the ultimate goal in 3 or 5 years time would be to match my teacher's salary with my handmade business. That would be super. Here comes Maisie. Hello, here's Maisie. She's just back from her walk. Yeah. Maisie's turning 4 in January, in a week's time. So if I could make Lucy Mucked a sort of livable income, that would be super affirming, because it's all based around things that I love to do. Get to make all the dogs at the markets, surround myself with colourful things, but also get to work from home, get to work whenever I want, however long I want to focus on something, or if there's ideas that I get really passionate about, I can just action them. So that is the goal here. That's the goal with making Lucy Mucked a sustainable sort of business. And then I get to buy all these sort of handmade things as well. I got these earrings from the second last market we did last year. Excuse me, Maisie. I know. Oh no. Super intricate sort of Japanese material, and then woven into a knot. So very pretty. Yeah, markets I really enjoy doing. Most people, everyone's really nice, or there's respect for everyone's craft and skills. People are happy to be there. People are in usually a good mood because they're out just enjoying their weekend. So I'm hoping 2025 is just more of that, focusing on fostering a better mindset, surrounding myself with things that don't drain my soul, and just reconceptualizing the idea of living to work versus enjoying what I do, and having a better outlook on work-life balance. So I'm already a step in the right direction. November and December were my better sort of practice months. So I've said this in other videos, but if you're new to my channel, I did get a lot more traction doing more arts and crafts markets rather than flea markets. I think what I've got going is a good thing, and it's just trying to expand on that idea a lot more. Goal 2 is just that, trying to expand the things that I make. So I know it doesn't really match the pets vibe, but I've been really enjoying these sort of velvet scrunchies. They're just so velvety. Ha ha ha. I've got the teal and black. So I've bought velvet in all the colours I could get, and I've got some satin on the way. I think that will help expand on my sort of people side. And if I just make some matching ones in pet bow ties, then I'm still sort of keeping with my niche of accessories for pets and people. Maisie's back. Maisie's exploring. Expanding the things I make. I've been trialing my leads finally. So I'm loving the double-ended leads just because of how practical they are. And I love the fact that they're hands-free. So I think sizing I've got worked out pretty well, and I made one for our friends Stott and Stacey. Their big old husky Odin will be a good test of how strong these leads hold up. But the webbing I'm using, it says 600 kilos strength, so I'm sure it will hold up. And then I'll be ready to put those out and just have more products in my pet range. So on top of adding more things to what I sell, that's one aspect, and the other aspect is just trying to expand my reach a bit more, because there's only so many markets I can do every week. Saturday, Sunday, maybe an odd Friday. So I'm hoping to try to make an ad for Facebook and Instagram. That will be something that's totally out of my wheelhouse, and if I'm honest, quite uncomfortable with. But I think just a few pictures and just putting myself out there, I think it'll be worth a shot. And then doing some more retail spaces. So the other day I drove to Monbulk Emporium, quite a drive, 45 minutes, but I knew it was a cheaper sort of entry fee, stall holder fee for every month. So I think it ranges from $50 to $130 depending on how many shelves you want. So because I've had two sort of hit and miss sort of shop retail ventures, that's why I made the effort to drive 45 minutes out there just to check it out first, because the last two I probably didn't ask enough questions, or I saw like a cheap price and compared it to doing weekend markets and thought that's got to be worth it, which they both sort of, one I just made the entry fee back, so not really worth it. And the other one, I think the shop is still sort of finding its feet in terms of traffic flow or visitors. So lovely people, but I think it will have to come to a point where I have to weigh up whether it's worth me just waiting it out or pulling out and then maybe coming back in later. So Monbulk, really nice shop. It was a lot nicer than the photos that I saw on Google of the inside of the shop. Person there was the dad of the owner, Andrew. He was so nice. So he was happy to chat about the shelving options. I asked him, is there like a demand for pet stuff? And he was like, oh yeah, they haven't had anyone for a few months, so there's definitely a demand. Anything with dogs or cats or even horses, but I don't know anything about horses. They would be pretty popular. And then because it's more established, there's quite a few shops in the outer eastern suburbs of Melbourne, so they've started doing a courier service where you can drop off at like your nearest shop. So I'll go set up, and then when I need to restock, I'll just drop it off at the closest one, and then they'll take it out to the shop that I am stationed at. So that's pretty good as well. I do also want to spend my holidays. It's currently school holidays, so I do want to check out this shop in Northcote. I think it's called the Make It Collective, so that might be an option as well. Just expanding. I've got the eastern side, and try the north, sort of west side, and then I would have markets. So yeah, putting myself out there in different ways. And also for 2025, I'm really excited but a little bit nervous to do pet shows. So I think it's like Dog Lovers Festival, Pet Show Melbourne, something like that. All the pet stuff is pretty popular at markets. So if I bring mostly that and maybe a few sort of matching items, to still have that sort of niche of what my brand is about. That will be a real test of how big I can take this. It is a higher entry fee. I think pet shows are about $250 compared to the most expensive markets are about $120, $140. But I think they're usually like multi-day, 3-day weekends, and it'll be definitely pet people visiting. So hopefully high risk, high reward. And then maybe down the line, I don't know if I'll have the capacity this year, maybe second half of the year, I do want to approach some doggy daycares or vets and just have my stuff there as well. That would be a really good step in sort of establishing myself as a brand as well. So that's all about sort of getting myself out there. The next part is just trying to make my life easier. So goal 3, I have been dreaming and wishing for a bigger car probably for a year now, and it's finally come to a point where I think I can sort of, where I really need one, and it's probably time to take the plunge. So I've been researching what type of car to get for ages. I'm pretty set on a RAV4 hybrid, and the real push over the edge to even make that plunge of spending that much money. I've had my Yaris for probably 12-15 years. Yeah, it's going to be a big step for me, but it's becoming a safety issue of how much I jam into my car and having to just like do some neck craning movements to check my side mirrors and stuff. My friend lending me his sort of surfboard roof rack straps, that did help a lot, so I saved some space just from putting the gazebo up onto the roof. But the real second push over the edge was being able to strap on some display stands with all my bandanas already hooked on, all my collars color coordinated already on the stands in the correct sizes. If I can have that already set up, whack it onto the roof, and then pop it down into the gazebo once it's set up, that would save us probably a good 30-40 minutes on setup time. So that's my next goal. Also, just trying to improve the flow. So as much as I enjoy markets, it is a lot of energy, especially in the mornings. So once we get there, it's like an hour and a half to 2 hours to set up. And I didn't realize that until I did the time lapse, probably in November. And that's with 2 people. So I've got lots of fiddly things. So if I can minimize the fiddliness, then it'll be a lot easier. I'd have more energy to greet people at the start. And then I'll have more energy to do more markets. And it won't become a chore and something I just stopped doing after a year or so. I think the other place that needs sort of simplifying is my sewing workshop. Maisie's loving her ball right now. So the sewing workshop, when it's tidy, but that's very rare. And when I'm in the midst of sewing, it was starting to feel claustrophobic because I had fabric that I needed to sort of fold and put away because you need to pre-wash it. And then the tubs that I've got, I like the pull-out system. I just need to get some bigger tubs so that when I have to make more stock and I cut all these things, then I've got, you know, a place to put them. So I'll be getting bigger tubs, getting some more shelves from IKEA, and then I'll put in a clip. I've got a couple of problem areas that are kind of like dumping grounds right now. Hopefully people can relate. My goal for this sort of holiday period is to sort of find a spot for everything. So if everything has a spot, I'm less likely to just dump it somewhere. Cleaner space, cleaner mind, more ready to make things. So that would be nice. So my 4th goal is to get some more traction on my sewing workshops. So that's still sort of a working in progress, but to be fair, I've been focusing on markets and making things to sell, so it makes sense why it's not doing so hot. I do want to do some more upcycling videos. I've got 2 or 3 suitcases of op shop finds that when I first thought about doing this stuff, I was just going to op shops to find things that I could possibly resell or fix up, that sort of thing, and sell on. Didn't work out that way. So I've got a whole bunch of clothes that I could use as practice for upcycling or use for upcycling workshops. And there's also a small sort of collection of some Gorman items that I still really enjoy the prints, but I've grown out of them, or it's just not my style anymore. Pencil skirts, who wears pencil skirts? Not me. I don't know what I was thinking. But that sort of upcycling era will also help me upskill for workshops. So just being able to sew more range of clothing items. Sewing stretch. I don't really sew stretch very often. I'm pretty sure I can do it, but still a bit scary, still a bit unsure about that. And hopefully make some more clothes for myself in 2025. That would be super nice as well. Goal 5 would be to make more videos, so I could make upcycling videos. I would like to do a weekly schedule. Knowing me, I don't know if I can keep up with that, but weekly, 1.5 weekly, fortnightly, that would be nice. And lastly, an extra sort of goal 6 is just listening to myself, listening to my body a bit more, sort of being true to how I feel about what I want to do with my life. Good girl. Good girl. Maisie's going to join us for this part. So my last bonus goal is to just do more of what I enjoy. Last year I had sort of an epiphany, a bit of a reality wake-up call, and life is too short to keep doing things just to survive. I think I want to thrive. It's 8:30 in the morning, sir. But yeah, I would like to probably just listen to myself a bit more, listen to my body. If something's making me a bit iffy, maybe it's time for a change. And just being true to how I feel. And markets, I feel really happy about sewing and being able to work from home, being more flexible with my time, actually having more time because I'm not traveling 45 minutes to work. So just doing more of what I do want to do and just trialing, stepping away from the prescribed sort of this is a career job and you stick with it kind of thing. And yeah, being a sole trader, the world does feel bigger now. There's more opportunity, but the world being bigger, I do want to avoid falling into the trap of trying not to compare myself to other makers that are more established or more successful. So just giving myself some grace, celebrating the wins that I do have, just enjoying the journey for now. That will be a really important one for 2025. So currently, it's the 2nd of Jan. It is, in Victoria at least, it is school holidays until the end of Jan. My first market isn't till the 11th, so I've still got a good week, more than a week, of sort of enforced sort of refresh time. I was getting quite stir crazy and wanted to book a market at some point, but I think it's good to have this break. I can sort of take some time to reflect, sort of improve my workflow before I go sew things again. So if I do get into the Monbulk place, that's not till the 1st of Feb, and pet shows, I think there's 1 or 2 in March and April. For 3 days, I think I'll have to have a lot of stock. So I'm going to use this holiday period to be in my little rabbit hole and sew a lot of things, especially now that I know what works. I can just enjoy the sewing part, and just watching Kath and Kim the last few days. Finish that now, I need to find something else to watch. So 2025 will be more markets, more confidence in doing these markets, and hopefully more confidence approaching some retail spaces as well, and definitely enjoying the journey. I think that's what 2025 will be like. Let me know what your goals are. Let us know if you're doing a handmade business as well. I'm very interested in seeing how other people are doing it, what other people are doing as well. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Thank you, Maisie, for coming to join me for this part as well. If you thought it was useful, give it a like. If you want to follow me on this journey as well, feel free to subscribe. I think I've got my website, Instagram and TikTok linked below, and you can follow us on this journey. So bye-bye. Say bye-bye, Maisie. Who's that? Say bye-bye. Who's that? Who's that? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Yeah. Say bye bye. Yeah. High five. High five. Oh, high five. Yeah. Bye bye. Bye bye.